Darfur is an area located in the western region of Sudan, a country in the northeastern area of Africa. Conflict arose here in 2003 when the native tribes of Darfur felt they weren't getting enough money from the government to build hospitals, schools, etc. So they rebelled against the government. The two main rebel groups were the Sudan Liberation Army and the Justice and Equality Movement.
The Sudanese government, led by President Omar al-Bashir, was having a difficult time fighting these rebel groups off, so they received help from China, their primary oil customer. The Chinese supplied them with all sorts of modern weapons such as Antonov bombers and helicopter gunships. To exterminate the entire civilian population, the government deployed an Arabic militia group known as the Janjaweeds, also called the Devils on Horseback. To infiltrate the rebels, the Janjaweeds decided to get the fish by draining the sea. The fish are the rebels and the sea is the civilian population. This means that the Janjaweeds would exterminate all the civilians of the Darfur area to make it easier to locate the rebels. By the year 2008, there was an estimated count of at least 400 villages destroyed, as many as 400,000 civilians exterminated, and 2.5 to 4 million innocent people displaced. Many of the genocide's victims have run away to the neighboring country Chad, seeking safety and staying in refugee camps.
Since the genocide began, there have been many attempts to help the victims of the Darfur genocide, including UN troops, who were sent to Africa to protect the innocent civilians affected by the genocide. There was also the Abuja Agreement. The Abuja Agreement was a treaty which was signed by the leader of the Sudanese Liberation Movement, Mini Manawi, and the Sudanese government. The treaty required that the Sudanese government of the national unity to disarm and dismobilize the Janjaweed militia, but the treaty was not successful. Finally, in 2011, Doha Agreement was signed by the Justice and Equality Movement and the Sudanese government to declare a peace against each other. But that doesn't mean there isn't still violence going on in Sudan. On July 9, 2011, the south part of Sudan split away from the rest of Sudan and formed its own country, South Sudan. Now there is still violence occurring between the two countries, including controversy of oil, sharing revenue, and border zones.
To solve the problems of violence occurring in the Sudan region, the U.S. needs to send soldiers to protect the innocent citizens from the violence occurring there. Average citizens like us can also help by sending letters to our congressmen asking them to send U.S. forces to Sudan and South Sudan. The state representative for where we live is named Brian P. Bilbray. You can write to him by going to this link. You can also write to our state senators, Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein. To contact them, go to these links. We can write to our local media to spread awareness on the topic and tell friends and family to help donate money to different charities and organizations. To prevent similar atrocities like this in the future, we must make sure our government and other powerful organizations will plan ahead and be prepared to help those in need when the time comes.